Welcome to Tower Talk Business Radio, where we bring you conversations with the top business minds on Long Island and around the nation every week. Featuring expert consultants and small business owners who have found success but are also willing to share their top tips, failures, and give gritty, matter-of-fact advice based on their firsthand experience. Now, let's get down to business on Tower Talk Business Radio on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
Hello and welcome to Tower Talk Business Radio, powered by the Nassau Community College Foundation. My name is Ray Schwetz, AVP of Business Banking at Jovia Financial Credit Union, along with Donyshia Boston-Hill, CEO, keeper of the brand, marketing, and digital agency.
We're focused on being the premier resource for business and entrepreneurship. We bring you weekly business advice, tips, tools, and services that help you grow your business. Plus, we interview some of the top business leaders in the industry.
I'm very excited today because helping provide us with empowerment today is a leader in the nonprofit world, Jill Wisner of Spectrum Designs. Now, Spectrum Designs is a really cool business that has a social mission to create meaningful and inclusive employment for those on the autism spectrum. Welcome to the show today, Jill.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Oh, we're very excited to have you on, and I was lucky enough to take a tour of the facility, and I have to tell you what a great, amazing, positive place to go.
Wow.
And I would highly encourage, Jill often offers tours to the facility, and I really think that you need to experience it. But I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself.
So where is it located? Tell us more.
So why don't you tell us first a little bit about yourself and then about Spectrum Designs?
So I've been in the promotional products business for a very long time. And, or as my boss would say, who's lovely and young and from Wales, he goes, "Oh, this is Jill. She's been in promotional products for almost 40 years. And I'm like, "Yeah, do you have to get my age in there?" And he's like, "But it gives you credibility." So yes, I've been doing this a really long time. But I was really looking for a job with a soul instead of just your 4-line imprint here. So I found the perfect home for myself at Spectrum Designs.
I just love the accent. I'm sold.
Yes.
Two top executives at my organization are from Wales, and they're just young and cute, and the accent, like they could tell you the worst thing about you, and you just say, "Okay,"
because it's so charming.
It sounds so lovely.
I think I'm going to try to pick up a Wales accent.
Well, the impression's perfect too.
Absolutely.
Now, how did you arrive at Spectrum?
So at the beginning of the pandemic, I was a casualty of my last job, and I started volunteering at a food pantry. And while at the food pantry, I'm like, okay, when I'm going to look for a nonprofit job, I need to have a job that gives back, because I felt so good about what I was doing, feeding people during the pandemic. And thanks to great media, I first heard an ad on NPR that said, "Oh, it's sponsored by Spectrum Designs." And then I went on LinkedIn to look for a job, and there was this big, giant post that popped up and said that they won a grant. And so I reached out to the CEO, Patrick Bardsley, and I reached out to him on LinkedIn, and I said, "Look, I'm looking, I could volunteer or I could work part-time, because I know they're a nonprofit and their budget is small, and help you with promotional products or teach you whatever you need." And 5 minutes later, I had an email saying, "Send me your resume." And 2 weeks later, I had a job.
Nice.
Yeah, I love it.
That's how you do it.
Yeah, and I had owned my own business. I worked for a supplier. I worked for a promotional company where the owner was married to a real housewife. I mean, I've been worked for an internet company that did promotional products. So I've been everywhere except in the nonprofit space. So.
Yeah, and it's great that you're there now, because what a gift you are to them, and vice versa, because it really is very serendipitous. Not only that story, but also the story of the gentleman you were just speaking of, the CEO from Wales, right?
Right. So Patrick Bardsley was an 18-year-old in Wales, and he wanted to come to the United States. So he signed up for a summer program. And for this program, he could have been chosen to pick avocados in California or potatoes in Idaho, but he gets a job as a camp counselor in a special needs camp upstate New York, and befriends a number of the children there, to the point where one of the children, Nicholas, his mother fell in love with Patrick and said, "Why don't you go back to Wales, get your degree, and then come and help me raise help me with Nicholas. And so he goes back to Wales, and instead of being a finance major, he majors in sociology. He comes to the States. She says she'll put him through school so he can get his master's in special ed. And then 6 months later, her husband drops dead on a plane trip for business. And now she's looking at this child who's about to graduate high school and says, what is going to happen to my son? So with another parent, it was during the recession, and they Googled recession-proof businesses and came up with T-shirt printing. And that led to these two young men on the autism spectrum, and the barn in the back of Stella's house made T-shirts. And the next thing you know, they start getting orders, and they literally, or they would say literally, outgrow the barn and then buy a house and move. And they realize they have to not only provide jobs, but they need direct support. So they start at the same time the Spectrum Designs and the Nicholas Center, which provides vocational training and support and gets funded through the government. Awesome. And the rest is history. It's now 11 years later. Spectrum Designs has grown from Spectrum Designs that does T-shirt printing and embroidery and promotional products to Spectrum Suds, which does boutique laundry service, pick up and drop off in Port Washington. And we then opened during the pandemic a second location of Spectrum Designs in Westchester, because we had parents from Westchester saying, we are tired of going over the bridge. We can't do it anymore. You have to open something in Westchester. And Patrick gave him these numbers and said, if you want this, you have to fundraise. We need, millions of dollars. And those parents were determined. And so in April of 2021, we had the ribbon cutting at our second location in Pleasantville.
Now, I have to tell you, there's a lot of different services that Spectrum Designs offer, and I want to hear about them because I want our listener to know about these as well. I have to say that you make the single best granola bars I've ever had. I ordered a box of them for my parents for Valentine's Day, the ones that were chocolate dipped and all that. And they were like, granola bars? And they loved them. So
I have to say, sadly,
oh no,
we had to close Bakes. Actually, this is the last week, basically, because financially, due to the increased costs in materials, in baking goods, all the food goods, it just became unsustainable. So I'm so glad you love them, as did I, because every day at 4:00 I had a chocolate-covered Oreo.
Yes,
so we're hoping that the Nicholas Center will pick up on that to continue with. They're going to join with a company called Julia's Cookies.
Oh, okay.
And hopefully they'll be able to do some more of that chocolate molding and continue that, because it was delicious.
Yes.
So we're not afraid to try and fail. It was great because recipes are also like screen printing and like laundry. There's a beginning, middle, and an end. There's nothing objective to what's being done. You have to follow a certain format. So, maybe the next jobs will be shredding or something else, but we're always looking for new ideas. And that's how we make it happen. We break down every job into something manageable that someone could do.
Yep. And that was great meeting the staff there. You could see that's what they really enjoyed. They each had their role in what they were doing, and producing those products really makes such a difference to them. And it's like I said, the products by far are amazing.
You're making me hungry now.
The shirts. So also my favorite shirt. So that's one of my favorite T-shirts now. So tell us a little bit more about the other services that Spectrum Designs offers.
So at Spectrum Design, we do silk screening, we do embroidery, we do direct-to-garment printing, we also do heat transfers, and then we also sell full-line promotional products. So that means if you were going to go to 4Imprint because you know it, or you're going to go to ePromos or any promo company, we sell the same items, except we're not beholden to some board of directors on the stock market. All of the profits from everything that we sell go back into the mission to hire more people. Now, I've only been there little less than 2 years. I started, there were 42 employees, and now we have 75 employees, and 58% of them are neurodiverse. So we're really walking the walk and talking the talk. and taking every job that we have and breaking down to its finest motion. So if we hire you to be a T-shirt folder, well, you're going to be the best T-shirt folder we ever had. And then we're going to upskill you to learn something else. Maybe you'll clean embroidery. Maybe you'll get a silk screening certification. Maybe you'll be making the screens. I mean, maybe you're boxing, maybe you're counting. There's lots of ways to break down a job.
Yeah, it seems like there's endless possibilities.
Endless.
And do you think that's what sets you apart from the competition? You mentioned some, we're not going to promote them on the show for you. We're going to promote your company, Spectrum Designs. And so, but do you think that sets you apart from the others?
Well, it does, because as to our knowledge, there's no other nonprofit in the space of promotional products. And the fact that you need this product anyway. So if you're going to get an imprinted pen, does it really matter to you whether you got it from the other company or if you got it from Spectrum Designs, where you're like can feel good about your purchase? Now, granted, we don't print that pen like we print the T-shirts, but the profits from that pen go to support somebody else who then has a job. 80% of people with disabilities do not have employment or are underemployed. And in addition, they become a taxpayer and they spend their money. They like to do nice things just like you like to go to the movies or buy a magazine or a comic book or a video or whatever it is. They do that too. So we're giving like life to people who might have been home doing nothing.
Right. Gives them a sense of belonging and really just part of contributing to society.
Right. And as a people person, I mean, that's what killed me during the pandemic, which is why people are like, oh, do you work remotely? I'm like, oh, God forbid. I love coming to the office. I mean, as much as I can be in the office, I am, because it's nice, and they make friends. They do everything that you're supposed to do. And, when I was hired, you have to take a course from the Nicholas Center to teach you how to treat people who have disabilities or are neurodiverse. And what were the things that I got out of it? You have to speak to them kindly and respectfully. You have to make your instructions clear and concise. Well, isn't that what everybody wants when they go to work? So maybe others should be learning how to treat people from what we do at Spectrum.
I would agree. Yeah, it's funny because, you get emails and, you from outside and inside, and you're wondering, like, what is with this communication? So it's great. And I think everyone should go through that course.
Exactly.
You are listening to Tower Talk Business Radio on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. I'm Ray Schwetz, along with Donyshia Boston-Hill, and our guest today is Jill Wisner of Spectrum Designs. Now, tell us more about your team. Obviously, I said that I'd gone through the tour and meeting individuals on your team. I could see how everybody was just so friendly with each other. They all worked so well together. Tell us a little bit about your team.
It's an amazing team. It really is, because, first of all, you are working with, people on the spectrum. So they run from those who drive themselves to work to those who are nonverbal. For the people that need extra assistance, they come through whether an agency or the Nicholas Center with a direct support professional. So depending on your need, you might have a one-on-one support, or maybe 1 to 4, or once a week, or once a month. And then you have your, everybody else. And it's just great that we can all interact together. And I'd have to say a majority of the people that come into work are really happy to be there. And it makes it a really very special experience and something I feel very fortunate to have found a home at. And
interacting with different businesses and different individuals, what do you feel like is one of the most common misconceptions about folks that are on the spectrum?
Well, sometimes people think, well, if we'll order the T-shirts with you, but are they going to be crooked because these people have special needs? No, we're in business to be good. We're in business to be just like our competition, except the story behind it is very different. So we print one perfect T-shirt at a time.
Now, do you have an ideal client or product that you really, want to promote to the audience?
So it's funny, I'd love to say that there was an industry that we pick, but we do business with everyone from the pizza place down the street to Google and Amazon and Uber and, big name brands and banks and Jovia and, places like that. So it's more about people listening for buzzwords, like someone has an event. Usually when they have an event, they're going to give out something with their name imprinted on it. Someone's moving and then they have to give out new stuff with their new address or their new email, or they're launching a website. So or a trade show. So it's really anybody could be a customer. Maybe you're having a family reunion, you want some T-shirts, or maybe you're having a golf outing and you want some imprinted golf balls. So it literally runs the gamut. As far as promo, there's a million promotional products items out there.
Yeah, and do you feel that, I mean, anyone can log online and order from some of these big box promo stores, but what is it about Spectrum Design and you, Jill, that makes people buy in?
You know what? Because it's like this. We don't make T-shirts to employ people. We employ people to make T-shirts. So we're giving you the same product with a feel-good component, so you can increase your corporate social responsibility and feel good about what you're doing. We've now been designated as an official social enterprise, and in addition to that, we try to be eco, and we use non-toxic inks, and we have special environmental certifications, which I can't remember the names of, but with our second location in Pleasantville. So we're trying to just do good in any way that we can. So if you need that pen or you need a T-shirt, give us the opportunity. We promise we're going to give you probably a little bit more, because we have a great art team. If you come to us and have a scratched up little design that you made on a napkin over drinks one night, we can turn that into a piece of art. So we really run the full gamut with you.
And I have to say, meeting the individuals there, they were all fans of what they do. Like they were artists that were putting these works together. And even something as simple as my T-shirt, the Spectrum Designs logo T-shirt. I was at a game the other day and somebody complimented me on the shirt. Sometimes you order things from Facebook, right? Or online or on Amazon, and you get a T-shirt and it's too short, or it's not the right material, or the sleeves start to kind of bow out. I don't know what you call it.
And it never fits.
Never fits right. That T-shirt is very complimentary on me, so I've had a lot of folks compliment me on it.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. And that's the other thing. Our team, there's a lot of product out there, and our team will work with you to say, what might be the best shirt for what you're doing, because some T-shirts are very soft and lovely, but they're thin and they're a retail fit, and I personally don't like a retail fit. I'm just not that stylish. Some people just want a good old Hanes beefy tee. And, so we go from high-end stuff to low-end. We can fit just about every budget. And we'll work with you to find just that item. And the same goes for any, item, whether it be a pen or a T-shirt or a crystal award or an acrylic award. We can figure out what will work best for you and fit your budget.
What do you like most about your work?
I really love the people. It never fails that literally every day I could be on a meeting, and I always wear headphones because I don't quite have an office. My desk is at the top of the landing of the stairs, so I see everybody as they walk in. And some of our employees are very charismatic and energetic, so it doesn't matter what I'm doing. I could be on the phone, on a Zoom, and they're like, "Jill, how are you? You're the best." And I'll be like, how do you not love your job when you have people like that, and complimentary and nice? And then there are others who I always keep 2 chairs by my desk, and while I'm not licensed in anything, I'm a grown woman, and I have a child about the age range of many of our participants, and they'll just sometimes sit and tell me a problem. And, if it's not a real problem, they go to HR. Obviously, we have a licensed clinical social worker and an HR trained person, but sometimes they just like to talk and say, I'm having a problem with this. And as someone's mother, I'm the office mom for sure.
Everybody needs that, and that's great, because that really is a true relationship and friendship, and that's really what it's all about when it comes to your team.
And so, what's one of the biggest campaigns that you've all worked on that you're most proud of?
Oh God, you know what? There've been so many. It's hard to say. Actually, right now we have a new project that we're working with, the summer T-shirt program. It's a girl named Jordan that also is on the Spectrum, and she has 1 million followers, and she sells T-shirts that are always all about autism, like her graphics and her art, and we're finally partnering with her, and that's really exciting because that's really walking the walk and talking the talk. Now she has product that's printed not by the local printer down the street, but by somebody who can put a tag in the T-shirt that says this was created by our neurodiverse team at Spectrum Design. So it's like a win-win for everybody. But I can't say that it's not exciting when we work with the marketing agency and when the Nets or the Rangers are in the playoffs and they're waving the rally towels that we printed 24 hours before, and that's 20,000 towels. Wow. That's wildly exciting.
You are listening to Tower Talk Business Radio. Our guest today is Jill Wisner of Spectrum Designs. My name is Donyshia Boston-Hill, along with Ray Schwetz on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
Every business faces challenges. What are some of the challenges that Spectrum Designs has kind of gone through over the years?
I think one of the biggest challenges is that we only can hire so many people. So literally wherever I go, sometimes they're not hearing that I'm pushing for orders. They're pushing for, I know a young man, I know a young woman, and she's on the spectrum, and how can she get a job? It's hard because we can only hire so many people at a time. So we love to have, you're welcome to send us a resume if you can apply on your own. And if you need support, then sign up with the Nicholas Center. Unfortunately, they too have a very long waiting list, which is why everywhere we go, people are like, when are you going to open up in my town or my neighborhood or my state? We get that very often. So that's a big challenge. We'd love to give everybody a job, but, we're growing. And, the idea, maybe someday there'll be, I can only describe it as franchises of Spectrum Designs in other places so that supported jobs can be created in other towns. That would be great. And then the other is printing is a very expensive industry. That you saw the silkscreen machines. I mean, yes. They're beasts and they're expensive. So we file for grants and fund, try to get monies that way to pay for the equipment, which has been great. We've been very fortunate in that case, and we've had organizations fundraise for us for different pieces of equipment. North Shore Autism Circle has donated to us, Impact 100, 100 Men of Westchester. So lots of local places have donated to us. And then lastly is that a lot of people say, well, what can I do? Where can I donate? And I'm like, I don't really need you to donate. I need you to just place an order with us or tell a friend about us. If you tell a friend and they tell a friend, then people will not think that I'm a cable company, and they'll know I'm a T-shirt printer. I get lots of people who are like, oh, we do the whole New York State Parks website. And I had a woman who emailed me, and she's like, you already charged me for my T-shirt. You're charging me again. I'm going to file a complaint. I'm like, we didn't charge you again. And then she says, oh, I'm sorry. It was my Spectrum cable bill. So.
Oh, wow.
And that's at NewYorkStateParks.store. So, we have lots of great partnerships, and, we just want to continue those.
Tell us about those partnerships. What other organizations are you looking to partner with? What ones do you partner with now that you'd like to expand? So
we'd really like to have we like the big companies because bigger companies have bigger budgets, and oftentimes they tend to be tied into a program that they already have where they're already selling, on-demand shirts and water bottles and whatnot for their organization internally. But we'd like to be there for the special projects, the ones that they're not in contract anywhere. So like this month is April will be Autism Awareness Month and Autism Acceptance Month. So, organizations that work with autism or organizations that have special teams within them. Like I know Valley Bank also has initiatives where they're trying to support all kinds of different initiatives, whether it be LGBT or special needs or Asian Americans or lots of different. So we would like to help with the special projects because we have the wherewithal, we have the ability, and you're usually not tied in on those little special projects. So we're not asking for all your business. Just give us a chance.
Now, who is your dream client? There has to be somebody out there that you're like, I would really love to work with them. We do such a great job. Is there anybody out that is like your dream client?
Well, certainly you two right here would be dream clients.
There you go. All right. That sounds good.
You're a marketing agency. You have lots of customers. If you're my dream client, then you're going to keep dreaming for me.
Absolutely.
And the same with Jovia. It's the gift that keeps on giving. And certainly people that pay their bills.
Yes. Well, that's very important. So what's next for Spectrum Designs? What are some of the things that are kind of coming up that you're very excited about?
Well, we're excited about expanding Pleasantville because it's only been open since April of 2021. Pleasantville only has about 25 people working there, so we're looking to grow that. And that will be great because the more we grow, the bigger the projects, the more, the better it becomes for us when it gets to be like this time of year is busy season. We have camps that order T-shirts from us, uniforms for school teams, baseball and soccer. So there's this is a very busy time. And so the more we have printing out of Pleasantville, the more jobs that we can take on.
Yeah. And so how do you get prospects to think about, the great work you're doing and the possibilities?
I talk a lot. We have a great social media presence. We're always looking. Please, like us on Facebook and LinkedIn and join us on Twitter and TikTok and all those places. We're always looking to grow our social media because the more people that hear about us, the more likely they are to order. And, you don't have to be located in Long Island or Westchester. You can be in California. It's funny, we have a little retail shop where we'll be selling limited edition autism T-shirts. It says, "Great minds don't always think alike." We get orders for those from all over the country, and you can buy one at a time.
And where can people find you? You want to separate you from that cable company.
Okay, so we're spectrumdesigns.org.
Thank you very much. Jill, we're so happy to have you on the show. We really enjoyed having you, and thank you so much for sharing the story of Spectrum Designs.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure. And feel free to reach out if you want to learn more about the agencies. It's also located at spectrumenterprises.org. We can find out both about designs and suds.
I'd like to leave you with DB's philosophy. The past, like the future, is indefinite and exists only as a spectrum of possibilities. Stephen Hawking.
I want to thank you for being with us. My name is Ray Schwetz, along with Donyshia Boston-Hill, your co-host and producers. Visit nccradio.org for more information. We are available on Odyssey, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, as a podcast on iTunes, Android Podcasts, and Spreaker. This has been Tower Talk Business Radio, powered by the National Community College Foundation on the voice of National Community College, 90.3 WHPC.